What's up, everybody? This is the first video on the channel. My name is Carl, originally from South Carolina, living currently here in beautiful Denver, Colorado. Big sports fan. Me and my buddy Kirsch are going to start this channel just to give us a chance to talk about sports like we do all the time. Hopefully pick some games correctly. We like to pick against the spread. I might give you some over-unders. I'll give you a parlay. I'll give you a lock that I guarantee. Not really, but one that I like a lot. Like I said, we do this all the time anyway. We pick the games every week. I'm over 500 this year, but I had a tough week last week. So let's see if we can bounce back here on the first installment of the Kirsch and Carl Show here on YouTube. Follow along. Hopefully we'll get lucky and get some of these right. Let's jump right into it. So first we got the Dallas Cowboys -4.5 at the New Orleans Saints. I say go with the Cowboys here to cover the 4.5. They got Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb coming back. The Saints look terrible. In years past, I would take into account the Saints being at home. But considering the way they've looked this year, Kamara's banged up. They don't seem to have an identity on offense. I mean, Trevor Siemian, I don't like Trevor Siemian, even plus the 4.5. So I like the Cowboys to bounce back after a couple tough losses. Take the Cowboys -4.5 here. Next, we have the Minnesota Vikings, who are coming off a tough loss as well. They're -7 at the Detroit Lions, so the Lions are getting 7 points in this game. That's a fair number of points, but Lions are terrible. Vikings need to win this game. Lions don't need to necessarily win any games. Especially since the Vikings are coming off a loss to the Niners. I think they're going to want to bounce back here, kind of similar to the Cowboys. I say take the Vikings to cover here. Kirk Cousins having one of the best seasons of his career. Justin Jefferson is just an absolute animal. Who are the Lions going to put on him? Nobody. I mean, maybe they double him all game, but that opens up Thielen and the rest of the offense. So I like the Vikings to handle the Lions, even on the road. So take the Vikings -7. Next, we have the Arizona Cardinals -7.5 at the Chicago Bears. I like the Bears and the points here. The Bears have a solid defense. They're at home. I don't like the Bears to necessarily win this game, but I could see them covering the 7.5. If it was 6.5, maybe I'd take the Cardinals to cover that. But with the Bears getting 7.5 points, I'm on the Bears here. Next, we have the Tampa Bay Bucks at the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons are getting 11 points. I like the Falcons and the points here. Again, I don't like them to necessarily win this game. Lord knows the Falcons have had their issues this year. Whether it be inconsistent quarterback play, terrible defense, injuries, Kyle Pitts, great one week, terrible the next. But I like the Falcons plus the 11 at home here. That's a lot of points. Even though last time the Falcons were at home, they got drummed by the Pats. But the Buccaneers' offense has looked a little off to me this year. Leonard Fournette did run the ball well last week. The passing attack it seems like the timing has been off. Even though Antonio Brown, I think, has a lot to do with that, him being out. I think he's coming back. But still, 11, that's a big number here. I'll take the Falcons and the 11 points. Next, we have the Indianapolis Colts coming off that brutal loss to the Bucs last week. Really think the Colts probably should have won that game, but Colts -9.5 here at the Houston Texans. I like the Colts to cover that 9.5. I think they can at least win that game by 10. I think Jonathan Taylor has a huge game. He probably goes for 120 plus yards and a couple touchdowns. So if you got Jonathan Taylor on your fantasy team, you're probably in for a big week. But yeah, I like the Colts to cover the 9.5 because the Texans just aren't a good football team. They've been better than expected at times this year. But still, I think the Colts, coming off a loss, they'll want to bounce back against a bad team. And I think they'll do it in a big way. Next, we have the Philadelphia Eagles, who are one of my favorite teams to watch this year. I love watching Jalen Hurts. Even though he's a roller coaster, he's good one week and bad the next. But I like the Eagles to cover the 6.5. Kind of the same story. They're coming off a loss, tough loss. They really should have won the game last week against the Giants. Rager dropped the 2 passes at the end. Jalen Hurts missed Devontae Smith on a couple occasions when he was open for a gain, even a touchdown in one case. I like the Eagles to bounce back here. The Jets are just a terrible football team. I don't like them even with the 6.5 points. So I like the Eagles to bounce back off a tough loss and cover that 6.5. This might be one of the best games to watch all week. The Los Angeles Chargers with Justin Herbert +3 at the Cincinnati Bengals and Joe Burrow. I mean, these are obviously 2 of the best young quarterbacks in football. You could, see these guys being perennial top 5 quarterbacks for the next 10 years. They both look tremendous in their first couple seasons. Bengals offense, so many playmakers from Joe Mixon at running back, obviously Burrow at quarterback, Jamar Chase on the outside, T. Higgins on the outside, who had a big game last week when Chase was getting doubled, even tripled at times last week in zone coverage. They were shading 3 guys in them in the zone a lot of times, which was just leaving Higgins a lot of room to get free, and he made him pay, as did Mixon. This is a good game. I think these teams are evenly matched, so I take the points, even though the Bengals are at home. Bengals have been a little bit inconsistent this year. So considering the teams are about even, both have great young quarterbacks, both have great receivers. On the Chargers, obviously, you got Keenan Allen. Mike Williams has been great this year. Good to see Mike Williams healthy. I'll take the Chargers in the points, though, because they are about even. So I like the points there. Next, we have the New York Giants at the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins -3. I'll take the Dolphins -3. Tua, obviously, he's never going to be a top 10, maybe never even be a top 15 quarterback, but he's been getting some wins when the defense plays good and, when they can run the ball and call good plays. Speaking of calling plays, the New York Giants fired their offensive coordinator. They didn't look much better last week. If anything, they might have looked worse. I think the Giants locker room is close to giving up on that coaching staff, whereas, I think it's the opposite in Miami. I think the players are kind of doubling down on their coach and Flores. They seem to want to play for him, want to get some wins for him, and they're just overall probably the better football team. The Giants are a bit of a mess. So I like the Dolphins -3 points. Next, we have the Washington football team at the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders are -2.5. I've been down on the Raiders all year. I'm surprised they have as many wins as they do. I think they're lucky to have as many wins as they do. So I'm on the football team here. Heineke, Scary Terry, Antonio Gibson. I think they're starting to kind of find a little bit of a stride. And I like them plus the 2.5 at the Raiders. I think the Raiders are this close to giving up on their season. Traditionally, this is one of my favorite games to watch, twice a year, each year, but it makes me nauseous thinking about this game coming up. The Ravens at the Steelers +4. The Steelers are terrible. Fire Matt Canada now. He's the worst offensive play caller I can ever remember seeing. The Steelers just can't score points. They have a great back in Najee Harris. They don't utilize him right. They never put Ben under center. If I had a back like that, I would put Ben under center and give Najee a chance to get ahead of steam, give that offensive line a chance to downhill block and, let that big running back go eat. But instead, everything's spread out. They're handing it to Najee in the shotgun. And it's just awful. Ben can't move. They can't score points. I don't think the Steelers can score enough points to keep this within a 4-point game. I think the Ravens cover the 4 easy. Love the Ravens -4 here. Might be my lock. We'll see. Next, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars +13. That's a pretty big number at the Los Angeles Rams. I say take the LA Rams here to cover the 13. It's a huge number, I know, but the Rams are obviously the better team. And again, back to this theory of coming off a loss, I think they're going to want to beat up on a bad football team, which the Jacksonville Jaguars certainly are. I think the Rams, OBJ looked like he was somewhat getting, a better sense of the offense. Obviously with time it's going to get better. Robert Woods being out was a big hit to that offense because really OBJ should be playing Van Jefferson's role kind of in that 3 deep threat position. But instead he's him and Van Jefferson are having to couple taking the responsibility of Robert Woods' absence. So that's hurt the offense, but I still like the Rams to bounce back in a big way against a bad football team. The Rams have lost some games in a row. They're going to want to beat the brakes off the Jaguars here, and I like them to do it. Next, we have the San Francisco 49ers, who have looked good in recent weeks. -3.5 at the terrible Seattle Seahawks. Take the Niners -3.5. That's my lock. I love this pick. The Niners have something to play for. They're trying to get in the playoffs. They know they can't be losing any more games to particularly teams that are worse than them, and that's what Seattle is. They're worse than them. They're not a good football team right now. I think Pete Carroll's going to be fired. I think Russell Wilson wants out. So I like the Niners -3.5 here. Eli Mitchell is a tremendous running back. What a find in the draft. Niners are without Deebo Samuel, but I just like them to be able to run the ball, move the ball down the field against the Seahawks team that they can't score. The defense is on the field so much that they're too tired to stop teams. I like the Niners here -3.5. Lock it in. Sunday night game, we got the Denver Broncos +10s. Big number at the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs have been a little up and down this year. They seem to have kind of hit their stride, though. At home, -10. That's a tough cover against a good Broncos defense. The Chiefs, against good defenses this year, haven't been great. So I'll take the Broncos on the points here. Broncos +10. I like this bet. That's a lot of points to give against a Broncos defense that shut down the Chargers last week. I don't like them to win this game. I think the Chiefs win the game by maybe 3 to 5 points, but you're getting 10 points with the Broncos, so I think that's a good bet to take. And then finally, this is a game of the week. It's good to have a good game on Monday Night Football. We got the New England Patriots +3. The Pats are getting 3 points at the Buffalo Bills. I would take the Pats here, even though I like this game to be extremely close. So it could go either way. I could see the Bills winning by 6. I think it will be a close game, though, so that leans me toward the points. I'll take the Pats +3. Mac Jones has been, as good as you could hope for the Patriots, and they've been coaching that defense up. It's been getting better every week. The Bills have had some trouble moving the ball against good defenses this year, and the Pats are certainly a good defense. They've been getting better every week. So take the Pats +3. So my lock is going to be the Niners -3.5 at the Seattle Seahawks. Take the Niners. That's my lock. Let's do a three-leg parlay to wrap this up. Take the Niners -3.5. Take the Ravens -4. The Steelers can't score, so the Ravens are going to cover the 4. And I say take the you got to take the Patriots in the 3 points, I think. Patriots are a good football team. They're getting points. They could easily win that game outright. Take the Pats +3. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Drop a comment, subscribe. Let us know how you did. All right. Thanks.